श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। उकारस्वन्धकारो वै उकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Sloka 29. निरस्ताशेष संसार दोषोस्तूलादिलक्षणः अदृश्यत्वादिगुणकः पराकृततमोमलः। Adi Shankaracharya, after having discussed thoroughly the Tvam Padartham, now discussing about Tat Padam. He has already explained in the previous sloka, there are two ways of understanding Tat Padartham, Brahman. One is Vritti, the other is Vidimukkhena cha. These two methods, the first method, that is negative, Vritti method, is being discussed in the 29th sloka. For this, the Acharya is quoting extensively from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad and other Upanishads. This is where the guidance of great Acharyas help us where to look for what and how to get into gradation and focus into the Tvam-pada, Tat-pada, Artham and then the Adhatmyam, the Aikyam. If we have understood this properly and we have sadhana chadustayam, definitely the Mahavakyam produces the result. There is no doubt about it, because it has produced the result for thousands of years. We should not do it now also. But the point is, there is a guidance from Acharya, there is scripture, and ultimately the individual, how the individual understands this and how the individual does mananam, questions about it, and then digest it and make it his own knowledge. That is left to the individual. So in Akshara Brahmanam, we saw Etadvaitad Aksharam Gargi Brahmanaha Abhivadanti, that is Astulam, Ananu, Akristvam, Adirgham, etc. etc. So not this, 23 negations, by ultimately negating what remains is Brahman, and ultimately we are going to see what remains is you also. You are that. If I prove all these things that Brahman is that, then ultimately there will be a question, so what? So what is there for me? So Brahman is agrahyam, adrashtam. He is no problem. Why it is agrahyam, adrashtam? All these things we see, adirgham, short, long, anything, qualification, attribute you have, it is malam. It is subject to decay. Therefore, you can't be with Maya also. So Maya is full of attributes. Therefore, you need to transcend this. The whole question is transcending Maya, which is material. It is not material has a property. Material itself is that. Material itself is malam. It's not material has malam. Material itself is malam. Because it It has both the qualities. It will grow, it will decay. Therefore, as long as we are associating, as long as we are established in that, we are not in that level. Therefore, we need to transcend that. That's what the idea. When you negate, all what remains is that is the negative pattern. Again, in Mundaka Upanishad, we say we have seen Yadat Adreshyam. That is not Dreshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, Avarnam, Achachuhu, Srotram, that Apanipadam. It doesn't have any of these things. Not seeing, not hearing, not having limbs to act. So ultimately it is negating all possible attributes. The entire universe is also negated. This is the point. This has to be understood in depth, that where the universe will disappear, the universe has to disappear into you. This is a very clear, deep understanding. It will not disappear somewhere. It has to, because if you are Atma, you have reached that state where you have to give abhayam to the universe also. The Shakti is where? Shakti is in Atma. It comes, it is there, but it is in unmanifest way. Even in Pralaya Kalam, as in this very, very subtle form, it is there. That's why it comes again. Therefore, you need to transcend that also. And if you go to that level, then the Maya disappears into you, is the point. That's why the negating, finally Brahman is that which remains after negating the universe. You also, after negating the universe only, you remain. If universe is there, you are within the universe. Either the universe has to go into you or you have to go into the universe. It's very clear. So after negating everything, I, the negator, will be left out. That's also the negator. The negator is Brahman. Here, ultimately it's going to be proved. Therefore, the Adrishyatvam, Rupa Rahitatvam. If it becomes Rupa Nama Rahitatvam, that has to be Brahman. Pure Brahman. But it is not available for intellectual grasping. It is not available for reasoning. Therefore, it is Prakrata Tama Mala. Ignorance is also the object of experience. I don't know Chinese, I know. Therefore, ignorance is also Malam. Tama is Mala. Tamaha Mala. Therefore, I don't know, you have to go beyond that. Therefore, it says, Ashesha Sansara Doshaha. You have to nirasta, free from Ashesha Sansara Doshaha. Sansara means dosha. Sansara, not Tamil Sansaram. Tamil Sansara means wife. You see, Purusha is husband. Samsara is wife. The ladies will be very angry. I think this is the experience of human beings. Samsaram, if you have to be free, you should not have samsaram. Look at this. So finally, you have to take Isa. Indirectly, they say you have to take sannyasa. Whatever it is. Here, we are going to a deep analysis. I think we all had tea. Now fresh, isn't it? So we'll go to some deep analysis. There are two things you cannot negate after negating everything else. You can say any two things. When somebody is talking, you cannot think at the same level in these subjects. What are those two things you think? What are those two things you cannot negate? After negating everything, there will be two things that remain. You can say so many things, but here the Acharya is telling it is pure existence. Sat you cannot negate. Sat you cannot negate. Why? Because transferred from one to another. You take this cloth, you negate this. Negate it, the cloth becomes the thread. Then it becomes cotton. Then it becomes atom. Then it becomes subatomic particle. And you keep on negating the existence you cannot negate. Do you get the point? The pure existence without a material you will have to think. It's very difficult for a human mind to think. You are not negating the existence. You are negating the matter. This is done only by Vedanta and no theology. Ultimately, science also is dealing with matter. It can go nowhere near this existence point. Therefore, that which you cannot negate, that which the science cannot go anywhere near, this Shastram is coming to help. This is where Jnana Margam, Vedanta is helpful. I am negating one, the other thing exists. I am negating that, the other thing exists. The existence, it keeps drifting from one object to other. And finally, it appears to be disappearing, but it does not. The pure existence is there. And that existence is myself. That's why I am not able to see it. Understand? The tea is still there or gone? I hope the tea is still there. So tea has now become energy. That's why I am listening. In the same way, tea is there. But tea, when the tea is absolutely gone, we only think from human mind and brain that it is gone. It never goes. That's why Maya is in its subtlest form. And you have to transcend even that. Think about that. And we all say we have become Atma and drinking tea. Therefore, Atma is not that easy. So that pure existence is there, you cannot negate because that is yourself. You cannot negate that. Ultimately, when you go into any inquiry, deep inquiry, you find yourself and nothing else. This is a very interesting analogy. Anything, this cloth is myself. This phone is myself. Therefore, there will not be any other thing except me. This is truth. I cannot explain in words any further. I have to keep quiet, that's all. So we will see the other one. The second thing. What is the second thing you cannot negate? Sakshi. Sakshi Chaitanyam you cannot negate. Chit. I am just putting it in a very technical way. That's why it sounds a little different. We have been listening Satchit, all those things, but we would not have listened to it in this way of understanding. These are all explained by Mahatma says. Nothing is my own stuff. It's all Adi Shankara. And that Sat will remain, Chit will remain. Chit, why it remains? I am Sakshi. See, whatever is happening, I am existing and I am also observing. That awareness, that pure awareness is myself. You remove everything else. There is nothing to be seen, aware of. Still I am aware. I am that pure awareness without anything to be aware of. For a human brain to capture this is again very difficult. So always you are thinking, you are aware means aware of what? Here there is a position, you should be aware, but there is no continuous sentence there. Aware of what? Of and what you have to remove. Aware. That is the situation when you negate everything. That is the situation you will be put into. What is that? It is up to every individual to do tapas and find it out. These are all explanations how it would be. It is Shastram, any guru can go only until that. Afterwards, it's left to the individual. So this is also every morning if you go to the temple, you say Neti Neti Vachane Nigama Avauchutu. So Neti Neti Vachanehi. And it's beyond words. And you say Neti Neti. That is what Acharya is referring to here. He has told in Pratasparami in a different way, in Vakya Vritti in a different way. He is telling the same thing here. In science, you can never negate matter. Law of conservation, transformation. Finally, you say energy. Energy is also another form of matter only. You don't negate it. So, Vedanta, science will ultimately fail in negation of matter. Because without matter, there is no science. But we are talking going beyond matter. That's what we discussed in the workshop also. So, you have to switch over to Paramarthika from Vyavakarika plane. This is the speciality of Adi Shankara. The most important teaching of Adi Shankara is this. Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda is also dealing elaborately about this. Why he is creating all these things. But that is what it is. Unless otherwise you make Satyam into two different layers, what operates in one layer doesn't operate in the other layer. Like the theory of relativity. What is applicable to macrocosm, the rules and regulations doesn't apply to the microcosm, because at one level it is different. The cloud remains as cloud with moisture. It doesn't rain. When it is pregnant with that black cloud, it rains. It is same cloud. Once it rains, once it doesn't rain. Because they are in two different planes. One is white cloud. That's also cloud. Both are called cloud. But only at certain stage, point of time, it becomes different. The quality is different. Therefore, it is something as Sri Ramakrishna says, water. Water takes the form of ice and then liquid and then evaporates into a different state, all three states. For all three states, it will produce different results. In the same way, Paramarthika Satyam is the absolute, and that state is different. In Vyavakarika plane, matter cannot be negated. This we should understand. Matter cannot be negated in transaction. You have to accept it. Mind works, matter is there, everything is there. And then in Paramarthika plane, the matter doesn't have, but you don't have any media to prove or disprove. That's the problem. Both the states have their own intrinsic character. If it is Paramarthika plane, there is nothing to prove, there is nothing to see. It needs a media to be understood. Because there are no two things. It is Paramarthika Satyam. It needs a media. Like we analyzed on that day, if there is an engine and a goods, the engine alone goes, it's of no use. It's not in the useful. Vyavakarika is not what? Transaction and usefulness. There is no question of usefulness and uselessness. It goes beyond that state. At that state, it is pure existence, pure awareness, and it doesn't have any transaction. There is one very interesting statement in Mundaka Upanishad. Acharat parata paraha. That means, here the acharat word, it means you go beyond Prakriti. The Prakriti state, you remember, Tattvabodha, that is before the Panchikaranam, before it is manifest. What is there in the subtlest form is Prakriti. You have to imagine that, which is not available for your senses. That Prakriti itself, Acharat, this particular thing, the negation you do is beyond even that. It's difficult to understand. You have to go beyond senses, mind, intellect. There is Prakriti, which is also Jadam. And you need to cross that, transcend that also, and what remains is that Satyam, that is Acharat Parata Paraha. That comes in Mundaka Upanishad 2.1.2. It is without Maya. See, we can't imagine a situation without Maya, but Mundaka Upanishad is talking about a state which is beyond Maya. That is what this statement, that's what exactly Acharya is pointing out. Acharat Parata Paraha is without Maya at that state. As it is free from matter itself, it is Nirasta. The word Nirasta is using because of that. Free from everything is Nirasta, Asesha, Samsara, Dosha. That's the idea. It's very subtle. It's beyond everything, beyond even Prakriti. Here the picture of Prakriti, beyond, without Prakriti is Acharat. That's the idea. Now look at this part of the sloka. Astula Adi Lakshanaha, who is defined as neither grass. Stula is grass, Astula is neither grass. Adrishyatva, Adrishyam. The Astula comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The other thing, Adrishyam Agrahyam, it comes in the Mundaka Upanishad, Adi Gunakaha. So he takes two Upanishads to explain these 2 points in the negative method, which is called as Vyavritti. Now we will go to the positive method, Vidimukha, how the Acharya is going to explain, we will see in that. We'll go to Sloka 30. Nirastadishayanandaha Satya Prajnana Vigraha Sattasvalakshana purnah paramatmeti giyate. Nirasta adishaya anandaha, beyond whom there is not a greater bliss. Satya prajnana vigraha, who is the embodiment of existence and knowledge. Where you heard all these things, you remember. Taittiriya Upanishad, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That's what is the famous mantra for the positive understanding of Brahman, the Tat Padam. So you remember Acharya is using both Vachyartham and Lakshyartham, Saguna Brahman as well as Nirguna Brahman. Because both has to be explained by the scriptures. And we also have seen that science can not prove Ishvara and Brahman. Nirguna Brahman also science cannot prove. Even Saguna Brahman, science cannot prove. Science cannot disprove it also. The difference between Nyaya Sastra and Vedanta Sastra is this particular point. In Nyaya Sastra says Ishvara can be scientifically proved. We don't agree that. Vedanta does not agree that. Science and Brahman existence are not two things to be proved or disproved by. So God is beyond reasoning. Science can only be a supporting logic. We can use electricity, bulb, all these things. Even Mahaparivara has used that. There is nothing wrong in using as a supporting logic because any Maya, any mind, buddhi, everything is supporting logic. But actually, when you want to understand it, it is Shastra, it is Pramanam. Without Pramanam, you don't really go there. But you can ask some Pramanam like Ramana Maharishi, like Ramashna Brahma. So Pramanam is taught by God, just directly. The Guru is God himself. There are certain Mahatmas, that are Avataras, who are born and they are directly taught by God. That's how we need to take it. There is also Guru, there is also Shastra. Nobody has denied that. Ramana Maharishi and Ramashna Paramahamsa also, they don't deny that. So this is Vidhi Bukha, positive. Positive also, there are two types. Again, it's dividing. Swarupa Lakshanam and Tatastha Lakshanam is ordered. So direct description is Swarupa Lakshanam. Indirect description is Tatastha Lakshanam. Direct explanation is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satchit Ananda is straight. It says what you have seen, that Chit and Sat you cannot negate. And finally, what remains. Earlier we see all other things you negate, what remains as Chit and Chat. If you directly go on see Satyam Jnanam Anantam is Brahman, that is Swarupa Lakshanam. Tatastha Lakshanam is indirect. You introduce the world. Why Tatastha Lakshanam is taken? Because that is the language everybody understands. Any theology, Christianity, any religion easily does that. Because you see watch, you see children, you see tree. Somebody has to the koi bhi piche hai isme. So therefore it's very easily understood. So that's why all religions easily go to that Tatastha Lakshanam and try to say that if there is an object, there is an intelligent principle behind that. If you got a car, you drive that car sitting inside. So you operate inside. And if there is a car which is intelligently put together, the steering is not in the rear. If it is in the rear, you can't drive. And all the four wheels are not on the top. So it is intelligently put together. The moment you see a car, there is no need for you to get a PhD to say that there is a maker for the car. Yes? Any object I see, I have never seen the maker. I have not gone to Switzerland, for example. I don't know who is the maker, but I know there is a maker. It's easy for any child to understand. If there is Malai Peyvade Adanale, it's in Tamil. Why the rain is there? It is because of God. There is a poem. Kavimani Desi Vinayam, I think. So everything, Madam Valarvade Adanale, why the tree grows. We can easily establish that there is a God. That means there is the intelligent cause. To go to that intelligent cause, we trace from what is available. Therefore, we go to a thing which is unknown from a known factor, that is indirect description. Janmadasya daha. Jagat karanam. Jagat is there and we all understand it. And immediately I go and say, there is no creation, there is no world, only you. That means this fellow is crack. Nobody will even come and listen to. Therefore, all religions have to take up that and say that there is Jagat, there is you, there is your physical body. Who created this? There is no answer. The easy answer is there is God. Jagat Karanam Brahma. So we introduce Jagat as everyone has a curiosity to ask why there is creation. Scriptures, therefore, they say scriptures introduce Brahman as cause of the universe. This is Tadastha. It's exactly like telling you want to, you know Rama. Therefore, if Dasratha you don't know. You say Rama's father is Dasratha. It's very easy. So I know Jagat. Therefore, the father of Jagat is Brahma. It's God. So that is Tatastha Lakshanam. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the Ananda Swarupa is written, it is direct. So therefore, you have got a direct method. See, earlier it is Vidimukha, negating and positive. In positive, again you got two. Remember the chain. Isn't it? Negating, neti is negating method. And then Vidimukha is this thing, positive. And in positive, you have got two. One is Swarupa Lakshanam, that is direct method. Tadastha Lakshanam is indirect method. In Swarupa Lakshanam, direct method, in Taittiriya Upanishad, Anandam Brahmano Vidhan na vibheti kutaschinethi. He said, one who knows Ananda Swarupa of Brahman as his own Swarupam does not fear of anything is the statement. That means what? One who knows Ananda Swarupa of Brahman. So Swarupam of Brahman is Anandam. So the Upanishad clearly says, this Anandam is the Swarupam. There is no indirect method. Straight away, what is Anandam? That is Brahman. Ananda as a condition is not Ananda. It is Vishayananda. Here this Ananda, what is written, is not a condition. Condition means what? Priya, Moda, Pramoda. You remember Tattvabodha? Brahmana Maharshi also explains it very nicely and simply. You are walking on the road, you come across a mango. You have a pleasant experience, a pleasure of seeing the mango itself. That is Priya. The Priyam is taking place. At that every moment you forget yourself. The moment the Priyam is mango or any beautiful thing, you are getting attracted for that one fraction of a second. You forget yourself. You identify with the mango. That is Priya. And then Moda, you own it. You purchase that. That is Moda. When you get it also, you have a feeling that, oh, that mango is mine. That is Moda. And then you take home and hurriedly you swallow it. That is Pramoda. But all the three things are not Ananda. The Vishayananda. All the three things happen because you are Ananda. You want that Ananda, you just provoke that Ananda. That is invoked. Therefore, you feel that Ananda. So any gradation is not real. There is a gradation, it is not real. So Anandam Brahmano Vidhan na bibheti, it means he doesn't fear because that Anandam is himself. So Vedanta talks about the real Ananda. Real Ananda means what? So do you remember the 5 principles? Not a part, product or property of mind, independent entity, not limited by the boundaries of mind. It has to be beyond mind. And it continues to exist after mind, not available for experience without a medium. All these 5 conditions should apply for Ananda. All these 5 conditions should apply for Chit. All these 5 conditions should apply for Sat. It should be beyond, it should exist, it should not be conditioned. So, not limited by the boundaries of mind is the very important point here in Ananda. Because all other this Priya, Moda, Pramoda, mind is associated. Because of the mind you feel that Ananda. But this Ananda, Paramananda, is without mind. You cannot imagine, because for imagining you need a mind. Therefore, you need to shed the mind and go there. It is Vedanta. The point here is the experiential Ananda is subject to gradation. 100 times, Manusha, Manusha Gandharva, Deva Gandharva, all these things, and Prajapati and then Brahma, 100 times you go, even that Ananda is not the end of that. And I am much more than that. I am the Ananda, is the point here. And there is one point very often you come across in Vedanta, this also you need to carefully analyze. Brahmananda cannot be experienced, is one statement. Very often told by acharyas. You see, you need to carefully, some people say it has to be experienced, some people say it cannot be experienced. What we need to understand is that word experience. The Brahmananda cannot be experienced, you should understand it cannot be experienced as any other experience. That's the idea. It's not like eating mango. It's not like eating banana. It is eating yourself. You are not, and fully eat yourself. And then what happens? You don't know. Because by eating yourself, you disappear. And what is that Ananda? By remaining as I am, I cannot understand that. It's very simple. So that experience, whenever somebody says you can't experience, you say that I can experience it by eating myself. Then what is that you experience? You also cannot say. The person who listens also cannot say. So that's one way of escaping from this argument of experience or non-experience. That is a special experience without any object. So I eat me and I eat you also. Both of us will not be there. Then there is no argument. It will be nice. So it is pure Ananda, pure existence. It is non-experiential. You have to understand it. Abhasa Sat can be experienced. Abhasa Sat means Sat associated with any object. And Abhasa Chit also the same thing. Prajnanam also, consciousness also. The same 5 principles you have to apply for all these things. Sat, Satta, for everything. Again, the same principle, the positive thing is explained in 621 Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asi. Pure existence is located where? This statement, when Talaka is making the statement, Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asit, where that is Asit? Where? The very question, where is wrong? There is no space. It is before space. Therefore, there is no question of where and when. That also is human understanding. Where that Sat exists, I cannot ask. Where comes only after Sat. Therefore, all our questions will become wrong. Where will you get the answer? The pure existence is located where everything is located in existence. If you ask that question, where is a Sat? The question you ask, where is in that Sat? Therefore, that Sat cannot be answered by where the question. So it is, therefore, finally, Acharya, you see, so beautifully he takes it and finally he puts the word Purnaha. It's very nice. Purnaha. If it is Purnaha, there is nothing to add there. There is nothing you can add. And also he says, Iti Giyate. Giyate here means declared by the Vedas. Giyate. Here, from the Vedantic balance, what we need to understand is pure existence associated with macrocosm is Paramatma. The pure existence associated with the micro is Jivatma. When it is not associated, it is Atma. So something that is, after negating everything, what remains, which doesn't have any association, is that pure existence, pure Chit, pure Atma, that is myself, is what is going to be proved later. So here, the second part in the 30th, what is the important thing? Satya Prajnana Vigraha. So Prajnana Vigraha, who is embodiment of existence and knowledge. Satta Svalakshanaha. Satta, that is existence. And finally, is just Purnaha. Some people say all pervading, it is Purna is complete. There is nothing you can add beyond. The word Shunyam and Purnaha, the word light and darkness, all these words mean the same. Because absolutely there is nothing available to is, that is where the Purnam is also there. Therefore, the Shunyam is not Shunyam. Shunyam is Purnam. Purnaha is complete. Absolutely complete, there is nothing you can add. When you go to that state, it is nirvana. Purnama has to be nirvana. Nirvanam is not sunyam. It is full. No object outside that. That is Purnaha. Paramatma iti. As the universal self. In fact, there is nothing called universal self and an individual self. It's all for our understanding. There is only one self. When it comes to creation, when it comes to the second object, when it comes to the Maya, when it is picturized, therefore that part only we need to be always be cautious. The Maya, the samasti in the equation, we should be very, very careful that when it comes to samasti, when the moment it comes to Vyavakarika, there is Ishvara, all powerful. And Maya is under the control. And you have to shed that, the second object, to be Atma. You can't live in this body, recognize this body, and then say that I have Atma. Then there is a jarring, there is a vibration. The moment there is vibration, there is problem. Absolute silence, there is no problem. The moment you understand there is a vibration, there is a three guna, samatvam is not there, then the creation comes. You can make the creation, you can dissolve the creation. Very simple. All the three gunams, slight vibration you understand, tamo, raja and sattva gunam, then the creation comes into place. When everything is absolutely still, the creation is not there. And you go to that level, you understand that. When you come alive to the real world, you need to accept Ishvara. You need to worship. That's what all great Mahatmas have done. Sing the glory of God, everything, because it is samasti. And I recognize that factor. We move to the next one. Sarvanjatvam pareshatvam तथा संपूर्ण शक्तिथा वेदैः समध्यत्येयस्य तद्ब्रह्मेत्यवधारय. Now the Acharya is going to talk about Nimitta Karanam. What is Nimitta Karanam? The intelligent cause. So everybody knows the designer. It is they call it as the designer theory. There is, if something has to be there, there has to be design, and the designer must be there somewhere. And the intelligent principle. So here again, further it goes into two like that, dividing. See, we have seen Vyavritti Rupena and then Vidimukena. In Vidimukena, again we saw Surupa Lakshanam and Tadastha Lakshanam. And in Tadastha Lakshanam, you are going to see two more. One is Jagat Karanam. There are two types. If you have Karanam, you got a general type and you got a rare exceptional type. You remember all the steps, Vyavritti, Vidimukha. Unvidimukha you got to Surupa Lakshanam, Tadastha Lakshanam. And in Tadastha Lakshanam, again you got Jagat Karanam. In that Karanam, you got two. Generally, if it is Karanam, there is a cause. Cause of ornament is gold. You got gold. Gold is different from ornament, but it is one and the same gold appearing as different ornaments' names. There is an intelligent principle behind this, and the material is different. You need an intelligent, skilled goldsmith to do that. Two separate entities are there. This is one karana. The second rare case is like the spider's web. The spider, from the spider's stuff itself, the web is made, and the intelligent cause is also the spider. The spider doesn't look for a material outside to make that spider. This is one famous statement of all Vedanta. And the other statement is very interesting. That is your own dream. The dream, where is the material? The material is you. The actor in the dream also you. Whatever is happening, everything is dream. Dream is a very good example of your own creation. There is, for the Karanam, you are the Karanam and you are the material. That means Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam. The intelligent cause and the material cause, both are you in dream. There are two examples. One is the spider, the other is your own dream, where you don't need any material from outside. Very clear. Therefore, it is possible to not to look for a material outside other than the maker. If it is a potter, the potter is not clay. If it's a goldsmith, the goldsmith is not gold. So you are used to see a creator and a created difference. Therefore, you always think of a Karanam and Karyam. But here we have started, the introduction of Vedanta is showing the Jagat and also showing the God as the creator or the Karanam. And finally, now it is telling, see, step by step is coming. By telling it is not only Nimitta Karanam, the Upadana Karanam is also God. Therefore, you don't need something. I have introduced the world and said the Karanam is Bhagavan. Now I am telling the world is nothing but Bhagavan. This no other religion says, only Vedanta says. The material itself is God. All other religions stop there. Science stops there. And that is told only by Pramanam. That is the glory of Vedas. So knowledge, skill and power, three things are needed. The creator should have knowledge, skill, power. So the power is Shakti. The Shakti is also in, that's why we always say Paramashivan, Parvati, Perumal, Lakshmi, always two. Everything is put it together. We don't say father. We always say father and mother. Therefore, the knowledge alone is not enough. You need power to create. And you need also a skill to do that. Therefore, it is omnipotent, omniscient, Sarvasakti, Sarvanjaha. Both must be there. And that Acharya refers to Mundaka Upanishad. Yes, Sarvanjaha, Sarva Vidyasya. Sarvanjaha is everything he knows and everyone he knows. Very intelligent thing also. Jnanamayam tapaha. The tapaha itself is Jnanamayam. Tasmad etad brahma nama rupam annam cha jayate. So Sarvanjaha he has taken from Mundaka Upanishad. And then another Upanishad he is quoting Svetasvatara Upanishad. That is white horse. Svetasvatara. White horse Upanishad. So Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.8 he says Paraishatvam he says. He is describing about Paraishatvam. Supreme overlordship. That's what he is trying to say here. That is Parasya Shaktihi Vividhaiva Sruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. So Parasya Shaktihi, supreme overlordship. That is Para Ishatvam. That's what here the Acharya is using Tata Sampurna Saktitha Vedaihi Samatyate. So only Vedas say this is establishing here in the 31st sloka. We will look at the sloka now. Yasya sarvanjatvam paraishatvam sampurna shaktitha. The all-knowingness, sarvanjatvam, omniscient, paraishatvam, the overlordship, and sampurna shaktitha, all-powerfulness, samatyate, vedehi samatyate. Only Vedas support this idea. So here 2 points the Acharya is explaining that it's not only Nimitta Karanam. Nimitta Karanam easily we can understand. Upadana Karanam is difficult to understand because matter and intelligence put together, that's where we get confused or we don't understand with the human brain. You need a Shruti, you need Pramanam to establish that. That's where I personally think these Vedas, these original ideas, and then Zen, and then all these ideas there, when it spread to different parts of the world, the compromise happened, concessions given in different religions step by step. as much concession given, they were drifting from the original pure consciousness. That still remains in Bharatadesam. That is the glory of Bharatadesam. You take all religions, they make, because you have to compromise, because you have gone for a comfort. This teaching is personal teaching. I am just telling what I have learned. So we want air conditioner, you want fridge, refrigerator, you want a Benz car, you want all comfort. That means you are going away from reality. It will swallow you. So when people moved from, look at this, from the middle of the world, they moved to Egypt. Egyptian empire is gone. Where is Egyptian empire? It is not. The only pyramids are there. And then Roman empire, and then Greek empire, and then it is going towards north, and then England. They ruled the whole world, and they also spoiled. They found the steam engine, and then further the Germans, they further invented so many things, and then the Americans. They completely closed the chapter. Kentucky Chicken, Coca-Cola, Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers and Gartner, you know what is that? Ava. Economy without economy. It's all market cap. Where is that market cap? Yeah, it's Brahman Madhir. It is something you can't see that. And finally one day they say that Lehman Brothers is dissolved. There is nothing. Gone. Govinda. And we all believe that and we follow that. Therefore, this is all by personal experience and inference. It may be helpful. If it is not helpful, leave it. If it is helpful, please enjoy that. And that's how I looked at the whole history. When it is moving towards the colder and colder regions, people wanted more and more comfort. And they found something, invented something for themselves. Car, this concrete building. They were not quite with that. And they imposed it on Africans and Asians. Oh, poor fellows, we don't want all these things. But we somehow accepted the car. We somehow accepted the iPhone. Somehow accepted the laptop. We accepted everything. Do we really want, if we sit and ask? We just need the mango tree. It's all, nothing else. Look at it, how the Maya works. So it's all that Upadana Karanam is the more and more comfort. Originally, I think the Vedic statement, Vedas were there everywhere. That's what Mahaparivas' brother Shiva has written very clearly, that Sadeva Davakrasit, Veda Evi Davakrasit. Veda was there everywhere. And slowly when people sought comfort and started migrating to different places, they had to compromise on both scientific advancement more and more, and you have to compromise on the spiritual side, and you have to come down to theology, and then come down to something which is very Sunday morning, you go to church and worship, come back, say bye-bye to God, and look at my thing. But here the system is, you never say bye-bye to God. Every time, every moment, every minute, every second, you are with God, and then you are God. There's a beautiful difference to look at it. It is left to the individual what to choose. So two Upanishads, Svetasvatara Upanishad and then Mundaka Upanishad, Acharya is quoting for the 31st sloka. So it is Sarvanjatvam, Parayishatvam, Sampurna Shaktita. We will move to the next sloka. Yajnanat sarva vijnanam Stutishu pratipaditam Mrudhatyaneka drishtantai Tad brahmetya vadharaya. This is very familiar to you. We have already discussed Ekena Mritpindena Chandogya Upanishad. We have discussed in the earlier chapter itself very clearly. So I hope you all remember that. In Jnanat Sarvavinyanam, also you may remember faintly somewhere you have heard that Ekena Mritpindena. So Eka Jnanena Sarvam Jnanam Bhati. Everything is understood. Mrittadi Aneka Drishtantai. That Mrittadi Aneka Drishtantai, you know, there are three Drishtantas here. Coming in the Upanishad, that is clay and pot, earth and pot, and then gold and ornament, and then iron and the nail cutter. So all these things, you see, any object that is made of iron is ultimately iron. By knowing iron, I know all objects made of iron. That is the idea he is trying to explain this. That is upadana karanam. Essentially, it is same. Superficially, it is name. To put it very logical, very interesting statement. Essentially, it is same. Superficially, only the name is upadana karanam. Brahman is omniscient, knows all. His tapas is jnana. Earlier we have seen. Here we are seeing it is the karanam, karana karya yoho vastu aikyam. Essentially the same thing. They don't have separate weight.